So now we move on to my 2 tips for getting rid of alcohol cravings once and for all. The first thing I'd like to touch on is glutamine. Glutamine is actually an amino acid found in most protein sources, and it's actually the most abundant amino acid in the human body. It's found in all of your muscle tissue, and it's also found in your digestive system and your organs. But what you may not be aware of is that glutamine converts to glutamate, which happens to be the most abundant neurotransmitter found in the human brain. Now, given that the human brain does run on sugar and it needs glucose as a fuel source, one of the most handy things that glutamine can also do for the brain is it can produce sugar out of a process known as gluconeogenesis, which is the name of the process of creating new sugar. This means that your brain is able to use glutamine to feed itself through gluconeogenesis, providing glucose for its energy, helping it to feel less anxiety, more relaxed, and more at ease. It also means that your brain is getting a fuel source through glutamine rather than having to get it from a straight glucose source, so it doesn't come with a spike of insulin, meaning less chance of sugar or alcohol cravings, and as a side bonus, less chance of gaining any body fat. And another interesting fact about glutamine is that while it's a precursor to the neurotransmitter in your brain, glutamate, it also happens to be a precursor to glutathione, the very powerful antioxidant that helps your liver through the detoxification process and protects your liver from alcohol damage. While glutamine is a great amino acid to include for brain health, liver health, and reducing alcohol cravings, it is worth noting that the Indian Journal of Human Genetics did publish a study that found that alcohol inhibits glutamate activity in the brain, after researchers found that acute alcohol exposure caused a significant drop in glutamate levels in the brain. Another major factor that influences glutamine levels and can cause a significant drop is stress. When we go through trauma or stressful periods in our lives, the brain drops its levels of glutamate, in particular one area called the amygdala. The amygdala is responsible for things like our emotions, our social behaviors, and our attention span. When levels of glutamate start to go down in the amygdala, we start to find ourselves having shorter attention spans, finding it harder to focus, feeling anxious in a social setting, and feeling overall anxiety. And what's the number one thing we do when we start to feel anxious? Drink alcohol. This can easily become a rinse, wash, repeat evil cycle as our brain and body goes through circles of emotions over and over. We get stressed, we get anxious. Stress feeds our anxiety. Our anxiety feeds our cravings for alcohol. Alcohol blocks glutamine and glutamate. Low glutamate feeds our anxiety. And so the circle continues. A side note that's not really related to alcohol, but is something worth mentioning, is that another factor that can lower glutamate levels in the human body is overexercising or overtraining, which can in turn increase your cravings for alcohol through the depletion of glutamine and glutamate, which serves as a reminder to all of us to train responsibly and make sure we get enough rest and recovery. Some foods that you can include that are rich in glutamine include fish, beef, chicken, whole milk, cheese, eggs, beans, cabbage, or in a glutamine supplement form, and I would highly recommend going for something that is pharmaceutical grade glutamine with no additives, preservatives, flavors, or sweeteners at a dose of between 3 to 5 grams per day.